everyone, I'm Sam from Cosplay. In this video I'm going to show you how I cast these resin masks. So I actually lost the footage for casting the first mask. Here that is. It's been a couple days, so this one's already painted. So I'll go ahead and show you how I cast this up. The first step is going to be to coat the mold in baby powder. This should help to draw the resin into all the little cracks and crevices of the mold. And we'll just dump out the excess. Next I'm going to mix up the resin. I'll be using Smooth Cast 300. There are other resins you could use for slush casting like 65D or other ones that I'm not well versed in, but this is what I have, so that's what we're going to use. And this is mixed 1:1 by volume. Then in part B I'm going to add a couple drops of this So Strong black pigment. This will turn the resin gray once it cures. And that's just added to part B. I'm going to mix that up in part B first. Then I'm going to dump both parts in a bigger cup and mix that up. This has a pot life of 3 minutes and a cure time of about 10 minutes, so we've got a decent amount of time to work with it. Once it's mixed, I'm just going to pour it into the mold, trying to gently pour it in, and then I just slush it around and try to coat all the surfaces. And at a certain point it'll start to cure, become more gelatinous. Till then, just want to make sure everything's covered. Constantly moving it around. I'm going to pick a spot for it to settle at the end. I think I'll do like the nose first, and then we'll do the one side and then the other side. That way I know all the edges are thick enough. It's starting to get a little bit more syrupy. So when I tip it over, the drips are more stringy. Starting to set up. Alright, so that's just about done. You can see it's starting to get a little bit gray in there. That means it's kicking. Same thing for the second coat, just trying to coat all the surfaces, focusing more on any areas that look like they didn't get hit as much. That coat I did a bad job of getting it to settle in a spot I wanted. It's real goopy right here in the chin. It'll probably be okay though. For this next coat I'm also going to cast the teeth. I just cut some pieces of cardboard to put on the sides of this. I didn't have any rubber bands, so my wife let me borrow some hair ties. And I'm just going to put those around the mold, and that way it keeps the edges cinched shut. I've got both my teeth molds here. I'll slowly pour that in there. I try to bump the mold a little bit to try to get any bubbles to come to the surface. And I'll set those aside. I'll use the rest for slush casting. I will have less time to slush cast this, so try to be a little bit quicker. Use a brush to kind of get any areas that look like they need a little bit extra resin. Alright, this should be the last coat. It's a little bit more clear. I didn't put as much of the pigment in as I did the other layers. That wasn't on purpose. I'll let that cure for about 5 minutes and then I'll demold it. It's been about 6 minutes. The mold is still a bit warm, so I'm going to go ahead and try to demold it so it doesn't set up fully and it'll be easier to get it out of the jacket. Slowly try to loosen it from all the sides first. There it is. I think the back's a little rough. My first one was definitely better. It's a shame that the footage for that one got lost. That's okay. For the first one, I didn't use enough resin on the cheeks and the nose, and they're a little bit sharp. I probably could have just done another coat or two. On this one, I think the amount of resin I used might have been a little too much, and I got like lumpy pooling spots when it started to cure. So I think I just need to figure out the balance of how much resin do I need to be using for each coat. I can also demold my teeth now. For the most part, all the teeth turned out well. This one has a chunk taken out of the back. I'm not really sure what happened there, but it should be hidden on the back of the tooth anyway. Now I'm going to clean up the mask and the teeth with a Dremel. First I'm going to use a cutoff wheel to cut off these pore spouts and any of the large chunks on the mask, and then I'll use a sanding drum to clean up the edges. This is going to be very, very dusty. If you do this, be sure to wear a respirator, face mask, all your PPE. To glue the teeth in, I spray some of this Bob Smith Industries Instaset super glue accelerant onto the mask, and then I put super glue onto the tooth itself, and I just hold the tooth in place until it cures. And just repeat that for all the teeth. Here we have a finished cast of a mask. It's still not perfect, still need to improve on the slush casting. The edges on this one are better than the first one I did, but I think it's too thick in the middle. But overall, I think it turned out pretty okay, at least for my first time attempting to make masks. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you'd like to see a video of me painting one of these, let me know that as well. I'll have links to everything I use down in the description below. If you'd like to see more of my work or pictures of the sculpt of this mask, check out my social media. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.